Bonjour fragrance lover, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I insert you a tag. We're talking about my 4 most important fragrances. Thanks to Jus de Rose for tagging me in this little challenge. Before you watching that, please subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna talk about my 4 most important fragrance, and I took it as not the more rare and interesting fragrance I found ever, not the most beautiful I found, but I took 4 fragrance that has been marking my life and changed it in a way and still are important for me. So it's not the most expensive I got, it's not the most rare I've got, but it's the one that has been marking my whole life. So I'm gonna start to talk with the first one that's been marking my life, and this is called Babydol Yves Saint Laurent. So this is a really cute bottle like this. How cute is this? And this might be, it's been discontinued unfortunately, this fragrance now. It really smells like a pineapple, like a lot of pineapple, slightly greener at the back, very like a baby doll, a Lolita, you know, very romantic but playful at the same time. I would say it's really for a Lolita, a little lady that wants to have fun and that want to feel pretty and things like that. I really love the scent of it, but most of all, why is it in this tag is because that's where my fragrance journey started for me. So when I was a kid, I remember my best game is when my mom and my dad was at work, I used to go to their bedroom to try the clothes on, and I don't know, I was just trying the clothes, and my mom had a little dressing table that she gave me after actually, and on that dressing table there were all of her makeup and some of their fragrance and things like that, and I used to do my makeup, dress up like my mom, because I guess I was admiring her or something like that, and she had this fragrance on the dressing table, and I always thought it looked so cute. And sneakily all the time I used to like put a little spray, and when the bottle was empty, I always used to she put it in the corridor, so it was alone in the corridor where she put all of her empty fragrances, so there was a lot, and I always went like that to re-smell. There was no juice inside, but I was always re-smelling it, and I used to spend hours to smell the old bottle of my parents. Like, so I think this is where it all started for me for fragrance. Like, I had this weird obsession, and this started by this little gem over here, and it was discontinued, so I couldn't buy it anymore, and a few months ago I found it on eBay, and I was so happy. I was so happy, and when I smelled it, it was like, it always like it's very emotional for me, like to smell it all the time. Like when I wear it, it's just, I don't know, like I'm in another country, you know, my mom is living in Brittany still, so I don't see them very often, so when I feel a bit sad, that's what I'm wearing. Then the second fragrance that's been really important for me in my fragrance journey has been number 5. And it still is very important. So this is the Eau de Toilette that you can see. It's been one of my first fragrances, the first one I wore, the first one I loved, and it was really like, I don't know, it's for me the essence of femininity, this jasmine rose, and that was where I decided that aldehydes will be my signature scent. because it smells like fizzy bubble of champagne. It's like when you spray yourself, the fragrance with the aldehyde is always not sticking to your skin, is uplifting, is flying, and I just love this fizzy feeling. And this is the eau de toilette, but I've got all the version of it. Love it. I've got the l'eau, I've got the eau de parfum, I've got the pure parfum, and I've got this one. But my favorite, and eau de première, but my favorite will always stay the eau de toilette. Is not lighter than all the number 5, definitely not. It just have more sandalwood inside, so it feels more woody, and it actually stick to my skin like crazy. But yeah, this is a fragrance I always love. My signature scent is number 22 because it's another version of number 5, and I thought that I grew up now, so this was the fragrance I had before all the time, and this will be always with me. And if I would have picked one fragrance in my life, it would be number 5. Always. I don't know, I think it's iconic. I love the history behind as well. I love to know that, for example, it was launched in 1921, and during the Second World War, even when Chanel was closed, they still continue to buy. People were still buying this fragrance, even people were poor or something like that. It was the fragrance. Like, I think if you would describe France in one fragrance, this is number 5. Also love the fact that you know, it's a question of fate. Like, Coco Chanel had 24 samples to choose, and she chose 22, and she chose number 5. So there's a lot of things to say. She was really superstitious. I am too, and for me, I feel really connected to this lady, and when I want to be like her, and I'm talking only about the fact that for me she was having like a very strong character. She was very confident. She knew where she wanted to go. When I need to remember where I want to go as well, I spring down and I feel powerful and ready to attack again. Then the third fragrance that is really important for me is Guerlain Ecstatic. I don't know if you heard about that before. I talked about it before in my most sexy combo. I usually wear it with a pure oud fragrance because it's so nice. It's a fragrance I would always love. It smells really oriental, very sexy, slightly sweeter, but not too much. It's really opulent as well. It's a fragrance that you can really smell. When I'm wearing it, people are telling me straight away, what's your fragrance? It's really something that is really working. I always thought the Guerlain is really iconic, elegant, just like Chanel. Simplicity and details, very elegant. Look at this bottle. It makes me think of the Dior Homme line with this inside, just like the tie. But I think it's very graphic. It's really nice pieces, and I don't know, I really like it. Like, look at this, it's so nice. But yeah, ecstatic, very oriental, very sexy. But it also is really important to me because when I first started my studies in perfumery, the first internship I've done was for the group Interparfum, and the group had few different brands. Like we had Paul Smith, we had Boucheron, Repetto, Lanvin, Balmain, Montblanc. What was it again? Oh, there were other ones, but anyway. And we used to go to different stores to actually try to find animation to boost the sales and to improve, to educate also the staff to know more those fragrances, to train people, to, I don't know, things like that. And I was mainly in a Sephora in my city, and I remember I was going crazy. I never smelled a Guerlain fragrance before, and since I was working with them, I tried Guerlain, and I had really like a love from the brand. So Ecstatic was one of my love, but there was also Ivoire from Guerlain that I really loved. And I don't know, and that's where my fascination for this brand started. I love the fashion. I think it's beautiful. I love Olivier Rousteing, the new designer. I think he's really talented, young and talented. Yeah, it's the brand that really represents me, I think, and it's really my style icon. And when I smell it, it really makes me think of my studies, And when I look about what I've done before and now, I'm like very proud. I'm not scared to say it, because now I'm in London, in the city I wanted, and the studies was struggling, I have to say. Like, it's been difficult because you're young, blah blah blah, you don't know what to do, and I've worked a lot to achieve what I've achieved, and it's just like when I smell that, I think about those years before, and I'm like, okay. Again, it's very nostalgic, but that's for me very important. So I would always buy a bottle of that just because it's what I'm thinking about. So we had Baby Doll, that is my childhood. We had Number 5, that is basically all my life, but it's been mainly my teenage life and a bit after. And then we have Guerlain Ecstatic when I was doing my studies, and I had to finish with my new life now in London, which I'm really happy about, and that's why I'm calling Tom Ford Sandal Blush. This is really recent because I had it last year, and I just adore this fragrance, Sandal Blush, because Tom Ford was a revelation for me. It was really what I was expecting in a fragrance, something creamy, powdery, sensual, but very woody, that's got no gender, that you can't categorize it into any gender. I love the fact that men are wearing it and it's beautiful. Sandalwood is one of my favorite ingredients because it not only smells like a pencil sharpener or a little bit powdery and creamy, and I just love this ingredient. And this is just pure sensuality, but very enigmatic fragrance. And I remember the first time I wore it, I was in a bus and somebody jumped on me and was like, what's your perfume? But yeah, it's really a really big step for me, because I think it symbolizes a bit my new life in London, my passion for fragrance, and where and now Tom Ford is one of my favorite brands, so I needed to add it to my top for sure. And I don't know, like, it feels so special to me because it's, I don't know, I think I was always wearing it because it would always make me think of my years in London and the discoveries of fragrance I'm doing when I'm doing my sniffing session or stuff like this. And yeah, I love it, and I had a really nice experience, I have to say, in the store, so it has to be there. And that's still my favorite from the brand Tom Ford. There's a lot that I love, but this is my favorite, is Santal Blush for sure. So I had to add this. So these are definitely my 4 different not favorites. These are not my favorite fragrance, but my most important fragrance, that's for sure. I think we could see each other in 10 years and I will have 4 more that represent my life, maybe. But yeah, tell me in the comments which are your 4 most important fragrance. And thank you so much for watching this video, and see you soon. Bye now.